Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Ancestral Family Living. Today I'm going to be sharing with you what I bought from ALDI and Sam's Club for my family of 5. All right, so I'm just going to start over here. We did have an egg pickup order this week. We do it every other week until our farmer's market starts back up in April. I bought 8 dozen eggs and this cost us $40. We do still have about 3 dozen eggs from 2 weeks ago when we did our last egg pickup order. But the farmer actually, he had a son there today, and so we had to put in our orders like really ahead in advance for him to be able to have all this done, because obviously his son doesn't know like who it's going to and whatnot. I think he had a surgery of some sort, so he just wanted to have everything done before he obviously went in and like wasn't able to handle everything. So that was why I just ordered 8 dozen eggs, because I wasn't sure how many I was going to be left with, and I didn't want to run out because egg prices obviously are going up at the grocery store. So this was $40, and like I said, 8 dozen eggs. So we have a mix of, some of them are just completely brown eggs, and then we do have some that are mixed. I'm not sure if all of these are, let me see if I can get this one open. Yeah, this one's mixed. So if you can see the pretty colors, they're not washed, so they are good to stay out on the counter. You can put them in your fridge, but I normally go through them quick enough to where I don't have to worry about putting them in the refrigerator. All right, and so this is what we bought from ALDI today. We are going to be doing a Sam's Club haul probably tomorrow after church, just because our church is like halfway there. Our Sam's Club is about 30 minutes away from us. So I bought stuff that I know like we needed at ALDI, and then I also just got a couple things because I don't want to like buy it in bulk at Sam's Club. All right, so here we bought a bag of carrots. I'm not really sure what exactly I'm going to be using them for, but we do tend just to have them, like I go through this pretty quickly. We buy like a bag every like 2-ish weeks. Whenever I do a whole chicken, we'll use carrots, or just like as a side item. My boys like carrots sauteed with butter. So that's something that we like to do. I bought another bag of grapes. I will be washing those with just baking soda and cold water, letting it sit for about 10-15 minutes. And then at the very end, I'll go and kind of like massage the grapes to try and get as much of the dirt and like pesticide residue off of them, because they are fairly dirty. My boys already went through the bag of grapes I bought last week, so this should last us around a week. If not, it'll at least get us through their school lunches. So Monday through Thursday, I've got 2 boys in preschool, so that should hopefully be enough, because I do pack their lunch. I bought some yellow onions. I'm not sure the price on these, but so we used to go to the produce stand and get a lot of our onions, carrots, celery, garlic, all that stuff there, but we are just trying to save some money and just like buckle down with our finances right now. So that is why I'm starting to get more at ALDI. So the onion, I do like an egg scramble in the morning that I'll put onions in. We also just like do a lot of cooking that has onion as like a base flavor, so those will get used up well within like a week or 2. So one of the recipes I'm wanting to do, or something I want to try, is I'm going to do like a meal prep day and do some Crunchwrap Supremes, like a Taco Bell knockoff type deal. So I know that Costco has like pre-made tortillas that you just have to like heat up on your own. But cost-wise, I know these ingredients aren't the best, but I just didn't want to make my own flour tortillas, because just like the time that's involved with that. And then also with going to Costco, there's obviously like a cost factor involved with that. So this is what I decided on getting. ALDI had these large tortillas, so I ended up getting 2 of them because it says it's an 8 count. So I'm assuming I'll be making more than 8 of them. I'm not sure yet, so that is just what I have. And if not, if I don't end up using all of them, then we'll just have a taco night and my husband will eat them, so it's not like a big deal. We did break into these hot dog buns already. I had 1 package of hot dogs left from my grocery haul from last week, but we did need hot dog buns, so my boys and my husband ate. I think there's only 8 hot dog buns in these, so they ate through 4, and then I ended up getting another one because I did get another round of hot dogs, so I wanted to make sure we had enough buns for that. My sourdough starter is active and it's like going, but it's only been I think like 2 or 3 weeks since I've been feeding it, and you have to wait around a month, I think the recipe card said, for you to be able to make bread with it. So hopefully soon I will be able to start making my own hot dog buns and I won't have to keep buying this. Same thing with the bread. I will eventually be making my own sandwich bread, but until my sourdough starter is ready, we're just buying it from the store. This is their honey wheat. We really don't do a lot of sandwiches, but I do just like to have them because, so like when my boys, they go to preschool, they can't have peanut butter, and that's really the only kind of sandwich that they like is a peanut butter jelly. So we really don't eat them a lot, but my husband, like at late night snack, if he's hungry, he'll make him something, or if I just want like a quick lunch, sometimes I'll do that. So that is why we have bread. My boys also like to do peanut butter toast in the morning, so that is another bread item that we do. Garlic. So I make my own bone broth, and I will put a clove of garlic in with the bone broth to just help give more like health benefits. Also, my dog, I've started giving him, with his body weight, he weighs about 70 to 80 pounds, and I read that you can actually give about 1/4 of a garlic clove per 20 pounds of weight. So I just end up mincing 1 garlic clove for my dog that's on a raw diet. And that has seemed to be helping. He doesn't always eat it. Like, so I just kind of mix it in with his chicken that he gets. So sometimes he'll eat it if it's really mixed in. If it's not, like there was one day where I just chopped it up on my own and I didn't use my garlic mincer, and he did not like that. I think the chunks were too big and it was like all over the ground. But that is why I use garlic, and obviously just like different cooking, we'll use that a lot. So these tomatoes are going to be for the Crunchwrap Supreme. The recipe did call for jalapenos, but I didn't want to. I just thought it was like something that we don't necessarily need in there. We don't like need the heat with it, but we do want tomatoes. There was also lettuce that was called in this Crunchwrap Supreme, but I'm wanting to do like freezer meal prep with it, and I know lettuce doesn't really freeze the best. I don't think it would be a big deal, but I just figured I would omit it, save some money, and not have that in there. Although I did mean to get sour cream and I didn't, so that is going to be something I have to go back to the store to get before I do that. Or I guess I could just wait until day of and then just like dip the Crunchwrap Supreme in the sour cream. That might also be something that I do. So these bell peppers will be for my egg omelets in the morning. So I'll do onion, a bell pepper, probably like 1/4 of a bell pepper, 1/4 of an onion. I'll saute that, get that cooked down with some butter, and then I mix in between 4 to 5 eggs. And normally I'll do a couple sprinkles of my cheese, cheddar cheese, not pepper jack. So that is like my go-to breakfast, and that's a good way to get a lot of protein in the morning. I notice a huge difference in my day when I have sat down and ate breakfast and a high protein breakfast versus when I'm like on the go or just like eating a waffle or something. It's like a very different day for me. So if that's something that you struggle with as a busy mom of like staying full throughout the day, try and get some more protein in your breakfast and see if that helps you. So we were completely out of ketchup, and we did break into the ketchup for the hot dogs. So I got 2 bottles this time because it does seem to be like we're going through a lot of ketchup because of the amount of hot dogs and burgers that we're eating. It's the middle of March, not middle, I guess like beginning of March. So the weather's starting to get nicer, so we'll start doing more like hot dogs, burgers, like grilling out type food. So we will definitely be using the ketchup. I also been making homemade French fries, and so that's been another thing the boys have really enjoyed, and the ketchup obviously gets used up with that. This pepper jack cheese is what I'm going to be using for the cheese in the Crunchwrap Supreme. So I figured with getting the pepper jack cheese, I didn't also need to get jalapenos because it would kind of be like spice overkill. My husband likes heat. I can take it or leave it, but I know if I want my kids to eat it, I should make some that doesn't have that in there and just do cheddar cheese for them. I'm not sure that they will actually eat it because they can be kind of picky with new foods like that, but we'll definitely try and give it a shot. So I did buy 3 packages of their beef uncured hot dogs. I think it was like $4.50 a pack. So this is around like $15-ish for the 3 of them, but I'll be making that with their lunches. Or just like a easy dinner for sometime in the week if I don't want to cook. So that's what that is for. And then I bought a thing of parchment paper. I was almost out, and this parchment paper will be used to help wrap up those Crunchwrap Supremes that I'll be doing. And then this, we are going to stop tomorrow and go to Sam's Club, like I said, but we are completely out of meat in our freezer, I believe. I think we have some like beef short ribs, but I don't really want to cook that tonight. So I just picked up this thing of grass-fed ground beef, It's not grass finished. This was all they had. But I don't even remember the pricing on it. But I'm probably going to be making some sort of spaghetti pasta dish tonight. So I wanted that for the meat sauce so my boys can get some sort of protein in with dinner. And then we have our dark chocolate chips. If I do banana bread or waffles, or sometimes my kids just want like a little snack, like a little dessert type thing, I'll just give them some dark chocolate chips. So that is what those are for. I'm officially out of the raw honey that I got from our local farmer. Like I said, the farmer's market doesn't start back up until April, so that we've got like another month until we're able to get some from our local farmers. I do know that the produce stand has some now that we could sell, but that was like $20 for, I think, maybe a pint, or maybe it was a quart. I'm not sure, but it was about the same price what we would get at the farmer's market. But just to save money, I decided to get that this week. And we'll see. This should last us a decent amount, because I really only am using it for, like, if I do a yogurt veggie or yogurt fruit dip, or the fruit strips that I make, that is what I use that for. So I also bought some cane sugar. We're not completely out of our cane sugar, but we've probably only got like a cup to a cup and a half left. So I will be running out of that at some point this week. So I wanted just to make sure I don't have to go back to the store. So that is why I picked that up today. And then this avocado oil, for the Crunchwrap Supremes, I'm going to try and make my own corn tortillas, or like the tostada that's in the middle of it. So we'll see how that goes. That's what that's for. But I needed avocado oil to also fry that in. So that's why I picked that up today. I normally just will cook with beef tallow or butter. That seems to be my two big ones that I cook with, or bacon grease. But I don't want to do that with the corn tortillas, with it being my first time. So I'm going to like follow the recipe to a T. So that's why I have the avocado oil. This is why I picked up the masa. This is, I believe, what you use to do the corn tortillas. They did have some corn tortillas already made at the store, but price-wise, it was cheaper for me to get this than it was to buy like the 16 count or whatever it was. So I'm going to try and make them myself and see how that goes. Yeah, any tips would be appreciated. But I've made my own tortillas before, but they were einkorn flour, and einkorn flour is just really sticky compared to white flour. So that's why, because I have my own einkorn berries that I will like process down and get flour out of, but I'm still not confident enough with the einkorn flour to do tortillas, just because of how sticky it is. I've done it before, but they don't turn out as big as I would need them to be for the Crunchwrap Supreme, because if you know what I'm talking about, you've got like the meat in the middle, you put the tostada on top, and then you kind of fold in the edges of the Crunchwrap Supreme. So you need to have a bigger tortilla, and I just haven't learned the technique, or haven't really gotten it to be thin enough to where I can have the tortilla without it breaking apart on me with the einkorn flour. So that's why I bought the store-bought this time, and that was my thinking with the like tostada type thing in the middle, that I'll try and do that and just kind of like take it one step at a time. So here I bought some canned peaches and some canned pears. These are in fruit juice, and this is in pear juice. They have been out. They do have the one at my ALDI. They've got some that are in like heavy syrup or light syrup, but I always like to do the one that's just in the fruit juice, but they've been out of it for a long time. So that is why they just had some back in stock, and these are like the only ones I was able to find of that. So I just picked up 2 of each. So the pear slices and the peach slices. My middle son absolutely loves the peach slices, so those are just for him. But then the pear slices, that'll be for everyone. And normally when I give my boys the the pear slices, they will eat an entire can in one sitting. I was also the same way when I was pregnant with them. I would just like, that was like one of my go-to snacks. I absolutely love the pear slices, so it makes sense as to why they like it too. So reporting back on the dessert stuff that I got last week, I got these peanut butter cups, which, as you can tell, they were delicious. We love them. And something I missed last week, it's fair trade certified for either the chocolate or the peanut butter in here. I'm not sure, but that's great. It's giving like farmers a reputable or like an equal amount of what they earned, and like making sure that they get paid properly for that. So that's good. We also did the s'mores clusters last week, and it wasn't bad. Like, it was good, but it was just a really chewy, and my husband and I both like thought these were better. So that's why I just got 2 of these this week and did not get the s'mores stuff. It still was good, but we just like this a lot better. We're like definitely peanut butter cup people. So this, I had to run out quick to our freezer and I realized I forgot to grab this out when I was getting the table ready, but per usual, we got our 2 bags of the strawberry banana blend. If you saw last week's haul, when we went to Sam's Club and I got 2 bunches of bananas, I ended up having one of the bunches start to go a little bit brown. I didn't want to make banana bread, so I ended up just cutting up sliced bananas, putting it on a parchment lined baking sheet and putting that in our deep freezer. So I might just start doing that because I think it might end up being a little bit cheaper than buying these bags, because these bags are each like $5 a piece, and that organic bag of strawberries is like $4 to $5, so it's like $15 just for the frozen fruit. I know that like buying it fresh is probably a little bit more expensive, but I'm just trying to think of ways that we can cut down on our grocery bills. So I thought that would be one way, because I can buy a big bunch of organic bananas at Sam's Club for like less than $2. I can cut all of that, freeze it, and then my boys will have a huge surplus of frozen bananas to eat, because that is the main reason why we are buying this strawberry banana blend, is because they absolutely love frozen bananas. And so far, Aldi has been the only store, or one of the only stores. I know Walmart has it too, but Walmart's pricing, they don't have as big of a bag for the price that you can get it at Aldi, so that's why I've been going there. But yeah, so I just debating on just starting to do my own banana slices instead of continuing to buy this. I do use these for kefir smoothies. That's something that I do personally. I have 2 boys and my husband. They all like the kefir smoothies. One of my sons is kind of hit or miss on if he wants one. So I'll probably keep buying it. But if I can just get down to buying 1 bag a week instead of 2, that would be great. And then these strawberries, I ran out of jam this week. I made some sourdough Pop-Tarts, which only my husband and I ended up liking. I don't know. My boys never really have had like a traditional store-bought Pop-Tart. So I don't know if they just like didn't like it, because the ones that I made, they did taste good. They just kind of like looked not good just because the einkorn got a little like melted, I guess, in the oven. It kind of like ran a little bit. So I need the strawberries to do my fruit strips that we normally make, and then also to make some jam. I do have a bag of like the triple berry blend from Sam's Club that I also like to make jam with, but it just depends on like who's eating it and if they'll actually have it or not. So I'm thinking the strawberry jam will just be a better overall hit with everyone, because the triple berry blend from Sam's Club can be hit or miss just with the seeds and everything in it. So this is, like I said, the eggs were $40. That's like separate. That's not at Aldi. But everything you see here on the table cost me $100. So we didn't get a lot of meat. Like I said, my freezers are pretty much empty with meat. So Sam's Club is where I'm planning on buying a lot of our meat at tomorrow. And we also have a couple other like random things we need to get. But so far, I think this is pretty good. So we have a weekly budget of $200 for meat, produce, eggs, dairy, all that stuff. So that is on a 2-week purchasing. So I will include that in this month. So this in total, everything on this table was $140. Hey everyone, we are back. So we did just stop at Sam's Club and the produce stand to pick up the rest of the items that we needed for the week. So I'm going to start over here with the items that we got from the produce stand. So we purchase raw milk for our family. So it's different than the pasteurized milk that you buy at the store. This is all of the nutrients in it. It's not cooked at all, and it comes straight from a cow. So we live in North Carolina, and you can only buy raw milk for your pets. And so it says here, not for human consumption. It says it's a raw milk pet treat. We still drink it. We get great nutritional value from it, but it does cost us a lot more than the ultra processed milk you get at the store. So on average, I think a bottle or a gallon of whole milk at Aldi costs around $2.52. But here, our raw milk we buy for $10 a gallon. So we spent $20 on 2 gallons of milk. The reason why we buy raw milk for our family is just we think it's better. It tastes better. It has more nutritional value in it. And even my son, Evan, my youngest, he had eczema as a baby. And within a week of us switching him from cow's milk, like processed milk to the raw milk, that went away. So, and even my husband and I, we can tell a difference, like when we drink the pasteurized milk versus this. Our stomachs tolerate it a lot better. But living in North Carolina, it is illegal to buy it for human consumption. You can only buy it for your pets. So this is why it says it's a raw milk pet treat, not for human consumption. It's the same thing. It is filtered. It's from healthy cows from a local farm. So if you're looking at buying raw milk, and there's only some states where it's completely legal. South Carolina is the closest state that we are like closest to that it's legal to buy for humans. This is a close second, and we really enjoy the taste of it. We think it's great for your health. And if you have any questions or you want to know more, just let me know in the comments below and we can have an open discussion about that. And then we bought these Cosmic Crisp apples. They normally have Honey Crisp, but they did not have those today. So these are a little bit smaller than the Honey Crisp apples that we normally get, but it was still $2.59 a pound. So for these 5 apples, it ended up being around $6 to $7. Keep in mind that when we go there with the boys, they already will let the boys pick out an apple for free. So even though we purchased 5, we did end up getting 8 apples today for that like $27 amount. So yeah, so $27 at the produce stand. That milk should last us a good portion of the week. We still have like half a gallon left from last week, so we'll probably finish that up today, and that should at least get us through Wednesday or Thursday. We normally drink about 3 gallons of raw milk a week between our family of 5. However, we don't have enough room in the fridge to store all 3 gallons on top of the gallon of whole milk that we have. It takes up a lot of space, and we only have one fridge that we like can use. We have a deep freezer in the garage, but obviously it's not a fridge. So that's why we just kind of like go back and make trips, and they're about like 5 minutes away from us. So it's really not a big deal to make the drive over there. And there's a park by where they're at. So my boys, we can like make it a fun day, and you know, they're not upset by doing that. So yeah, so the apples we will have I'll cut up for their lunches, and the 3 apples that they got for free, we will have them snacking on today. If someone doesn't eat all of theirs, I'll just cut up what's left of it into little bite-sized pieces so they can snack on that later in the day. So that is what we got for the produce stand, and that's from, again, our local farmers. And then over here is what we purchased at Sam's Club. So we're almost out of dog food for our Bernese Mountain Dog Bow. So we got the lamb and brown rice recipe. This was about $42 for 35 pounds. The reason why we don't have him on a raw diet, he would be great for it too, but it's just the expense wise, it's cheaper for us to do it this way. Just we have 2 really big dogs. Bo's about 80 pounds, Roscoe's about 70. So once we get more room in the budget, we will switch him over to a raw diet as well. But until then, we've got him on these chicken thighs, boneless, skinless, and the bone and skin on. These are for Roscoe. He has chronic yeast infections and ear infections, so we're trying to get that under control. The raw diet is helping, but we still are he habitually licks his paws, so it's hard to get him to get the yeast infections away. But so far we have been having good progress with that. So he gets 1 of the bone and skin on chicken thighs, and then 2 of the boneless, skinless. The last time I bought these, I kept them in the container, but they did start to get a little smelly towards the end. So this week I'm going to process them and just divide it up into a Ziploc bag, and then put some in the freezer so that way, this is Adam, we'll put some in the freezer so that way it doesn't go bad. And then my husband wanted some bagels, so I'm going to show you later in this video how I make our own kefir cream cheese. So the cream cheese, if you're going to cook it, it's better just to get cream cheese from the store, because once you start cooking the dairy products, you're changing the nutritional value of it. But with the kefir cream cheese, how we do our own milk kefir with the raw milk, we're actually able to, I'll show you how we do it, but I can make my own cream cheese with it, and it has a bunch of probiotics in it, which is obviously good for your gut health. So if they're just using it for bagels or English muffins, I will make my own cream cheese, and I will show you how to do that in a second. We, as always, picked up a bag of our freeze-dried strawberry slices. This was $7.48, and this will last at least 2 to 3 meals or like servings for the boys. They love their dried strawberries, but I have been trying to start making more of their own snacks. So like Cheez-Its, crackers, that kind of stuff, fruit strips. So this is in addition to that. So I'm trying to make it so they're not just like constantly wanting to eat these, because it does kind of get expensive, especially since we're not like in strawberry season. Just careful not to break it, okay? Okay, thank you. And so here we have I'm not even sure how many, 4-ounce sticks of butter. We still have 2 packs of butter in our fridge, but we actually go through a lot of butter. And I know like with the Cheez-Its that we make, you need butter. With my banana bread, that's like a whole stick. With the waffles, that's normally a whole stick. So we go through a lot of butter in this house, and that's like the main thing that we cook with outside of beef tallow. So my husband was like, we've got still 2 containers. Like, are you sure we need this? And I was like, we're going to go through it, especially before it goes bad. And this is around $13, I believe, for the 4 of these. And then over here, we got some of their beef stew meat. It was $17.46 for almost 3 pounds. So this is the meat that we're going to be using for the week. And then we also got this organic grass-fed, grass-finished beef. So we normally would pick up our meat from our local farmer. However, our local farmer, we normally will buy our meat from them. Roscoe, as you can hear, he's like biting himself right now. He needs to get a bath. And I can talk about that stuff later, but I'm going to try a new shampoo for him. It's like a Selsun Blue type, which is supposed to help with the yeast in the paws. I'm trying to, instead of taking him to the vet, I'm trying to do like more holistic stuff here, just to make sure that his body isn't being overwhelmed with all of like the different chemicals and stuff that the vet would give him. But anyways, back to the food. So we normally would buy our meat from the local farmer, but I think they're completely out of chicken, and they won't have any more chicken until like the chicks that they just got go to the processing center, which is I think in like 2 or 3 months. So we will not be able to be getting chicken from them for a long time. So you will start seeing us getting more food from Sam's Club or Costco because of that reason. And then also, I think they need to also be processing a cow soon, because their ground beef prices, it used to be like $8.25 for 1 pound of ground beef. And I looked at it last week and it was almost $10 for 1 pound. So with us being on a budget, it's not budget friendly for us to be paying $10 for 1 pound of ground beef. It tastes phenomenal and we do want to support local, but that's just not in our budget right now. So we ended up getting 3 pounds of ground beef for $16.14. So we got 6 pounds total. That should last us the week. We normally cook between 1 to 2 pounds depending on what we are cooking. And then between the beef stew, like I just went over, this is about 3 pounds of beef stew. This should last us for the week and hopefully a little bit into next week as well. But that is why we are not buying it from the farmer, at least until they have better pricing. So in total, I just had to check. In total, we spent $151 for this stuff from Sam's Club. However, we're premium members, and so we get Sam's Cash. So we ended up having $10 off with that. So it only cost us about $141 for everything that you see here, which a lot of it is meat. So it is going to be a little bit more expensive than if we were just getting the fruits and vegetables and whatever. So yeah, so that is what we got for the rest of the haul for this week's groceries. So one thing I forgot to mention is that the dog food, the dry dog food, we have our own budget for, and Roscoe's raw food we have our own budget for. So that's about $70 that we have budgeted already in a different category. So we spent about, $140? So we spent about $70 at Sam's Club for like our meat, the butter, the dried strawberries, bagels. So that is pretty within budget. So I'm trying to like do math in my head now. We spent around $140 at ALDI. We spent $30 at the produce stand. So that's what, like $170, and then we spent another $70. So we're a little bit over budget. I try and budget between like $200, $250 per week for produce, meat, dairy, all that stuff. So if we're going at the $250 end, we're still on budget. But if we're looking at the $200, we are a little bit over, only because we bought the 8 dozen eggs. So that's obviously like a 2-week, You see what I'm saying? Because that's like a 2-week purchase versus one every week. So that's why it kind of fluctuates. We'll have like this week will be more expensive. Next week we'll probably save a little bit more money because we're not buying the eggs. So that's just, it's kind of confusing, but when I break it down in the budget, it all like works out in the end, if that makes sense. And the farmer's market will be starting back up for us in April. So we're excited to see what different goodies we can get there too. But yeah, if you watched till the end of it, I want to say thank you. And I'm going to sign off now, but I will be showing you how to do the kefir cream cheese in just a second. So if you want to see that, stick around. If you have any questions about what we're buying, why we're buying it, any of the health benefits of what we do, let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, so I already poured in the kefir with the coffee filter. So now we're just gonna sit and wait, and you can already see it starting to absorb down. But basically at the bottom, that's the whey. And then up here is going to be the kefir cream cheese. So you need to just let it sit at room temperature for a couple of hours or let it sit overnight. And then I'll just come in with a plastic spatula and just kind of like stir it around a little bit once some of the whey has been separated from it. And then that's all you do to make your own cream cheese. It stays good in the fridge for about 3 to 5 days. And this is a great cost-effective way to get probiotic cream cheese without having to do much to it. So if you don't have kefir grains, you can buy some online. I got mine on Etsy for about $10, and they do actually multiply the more they're fed. So I started out with just 2 teaspoons of kefir grains, and now I've got almost an entire quart mason jar that's just filled with kefir grains. So it is a very cost-effective way. You have a little bit of an upfront cost, but it's great for your health. It's easy to do, and it helps you save money in the long run, because I'm not sure what the going rate for probiotic cream cheese is, but I'm basically getting this out of something I'm already making. So obviously I'm using raw milk for it, so the raw milk costs $10 a gallon. But you can even do kefir grains with pasteurized milk from the store if you don't want to do raw milk. So that would be an even less expensive way to get homemade cream cheese. So I ended up just putting the knives like this with the handles for the strainer, so that way it's not sitting in the way when it's straining off. So it does take a little bit of time to get the whey separated from the kefir, but as I said, it's a pretty hands-off process. It's just, you just have to like sit and wait, and it's something my boys like to watch too. But as the whey drips down, you'll see that the kefir starts to kind of thicken up once that liquid gets off, and then that'll be your cream cheese. And so then you can also add in, like if you want like a flavored cream cheese or like a fruity cream cheese, once the whey is separated from the kefir, that's when you would add in whatever kind of flavorings or seasonings that you want. And so then you can really tailor it to what your family likes. And I will say that we normally add a little bit of salt in with it, but if you like the taste of kefir, or you can taste like, or you can handle like the fermented aspect of it, you really don't need to mix anything in with it. But if you want more of a flavor, or like your kids like strawberry cream cheese or something, that would be a good time to do it at the end. Okay, so it's been probably about 2 hours now, and I would say it is pretty much done. I could probably let it sit a little bit longer if I wanted to. Oh, it just fell off, but I'm not going to. But basically that's all it is to it, is you just let it sit, and you can see how it's thickened up. I'm gonna let it sit probably just a little bit longer and make sure it just isn't super runny. But that is all you have to do in order to get your own probiotic kefir cheese. And here is the whey that's separated from it. So I will just put it into a mason jar and like seal it with a lid, and then I will save that for the next time that I want to make something that's fermented. I've made some beet kvass before. I've done, oh gosh, what was the other one? Like fermented pickles, that kind of stuff. And this just helps get it going. There's a lot of fermented recipes call for whey, and so this is a very cost-effective way in order to make your own. And then it's just because it's already a byproduct of the cream cheese. So just want to say thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.